he has some sort of Italian food, and then what does he say about it? It's like something about a meatball.
Spicy meatball.
Chaps, do you?
Spicy meatball.
Oh, we got him to do it. Yeah. I was hoping that somehow we could get Chaps to organically say that's a spicy meatball.
Just really worked it in organically there.
Spicy meatball.
Oh,
Brunch.
hit it, boys. I saved a life recently.
How so?
I helped a stranger. Their battery was dead, and they needed a jump.
Oh, yeah?
And I said, "Hey, you've come to the right place. I'll do it."
That seems like a very not you thing to do.
Seems like a very not person thing to do. That's if we're told anything in our lives, it's if a stranger comes up to you and needs something. Fuck, especially if you're in a car, drive away from that person.
Yes. Or just tase them. Do anything that you can to protect yourself because that person wants to kill you.
Yeah, I was sitting in my car. I had just seen a movie, and then I went to the mall, and then I was hungry. So I went to Chick-fil-A. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit in my car and eat Chick-fil-A. It's not a good look, like just being like a man sitting in your car. It's better to be on the move and...
Chick-fil-A, good restaurant, but problematic. They are very homophobic.
Yes.
So
I know.
Way to go.
I'm very sorry.
Very off-brand.
Yes. So I was sitting in my car. I drove. There was a strip. It was like the Chick-fil-A was near a strip mall. Okay. So I just drove to a part of the parking lot where there was nothing going on. Just me by myself.
That is very sad.
I was like, I'm just gonna bang out this sandwich right quick.
We talk a lot about doing things on our own. Like we're not afraid to go to shows by ourselves, movies by ourselves. Eating by yourself.
That's by far the most embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've heard people older than me say that that's something that I might come around on, that it's a very enjoyable thing.
Because that just means that but if you come around on something as you get older, it just means that you give less of a shit.
Yeah. But it always makes me sad as a third party to see somebody eating by themselves. Like, I want to invite them over to just join us.
Saddest moment? Go ahead.
Because eating a meal is a social thing, whereas going to a concert, going to a movie, like, you're shutting up and you're watching something anyway, so it's not really a social event. Eating, I feel like there's way more potential for it to be a social event.
Yeah, saddest moment of my life, other than most of the moments of my life, was one Christmas Eve. My family, for some reason, we picked up food from a restaurant, and that was going to be the thing. We were going to go home, eat the food from the restaurant, play some games. I don't know whatever you do on Christmas Eve. I don't even fucking remember. But we went in to pick it up. It was me, my dad, and one of my sisters. And we're going to pick up the food, and an old guy goes up to the hostess and says, they said, "Are you waiting for anybody?" And he said, "No, just one." Ugh. And she sat him. On Christmas Eve, this guy went to, it was like the ground round or some shit like that.
I'm going to cry right now.
There's
nothing sadder than an old person eating by themselves.
There's nothing sadder than an old person doing most things
by themselves.
Like, if it's like, old man gets a hole in one, I'm like, oh.
But like an old couple eating, there's nothing cuter than an old couple eating together. Yeah. And you take away one of those people, and it immediately becomes the saddest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because my mind always jumps to, ooh, that person had somebody that they loved and they died.
Yes.
And now they have to eat alone every meal.
Right. When in reality,
so sad.
That old guy and his wife just got in a big fight, so he's blowing off some steam, and then he's going to go back and have awesome makeup sex. And we're like, oh, this poor guy. But I remember I was like, we've got to bring that guy over for Christmas Eve. And again, it's like, no.
It's almost more insulting to be like, hey, you look really sad.
Right.
You want to join our party?
Hey,
no.
Couldn't help but see the way your whole thing looks.
But it's also like there's a very strong possibility of you just looking even worse when you ask him to come sit with you and then he says no.
Yeah.
It's like that guy who looks like the saddest person in the world doesn't want anything to do with your situation.
So I'm sitting in my car eating, and again, I almost didn't want to share that part because that is that's like a really bad, sad thing. And I knew as I was doing it, I was having a good day and everything, but I was like, I would hate if someone saw me, took a picture or whatever, like my career's over.
So eating alone is sad. Eating alone in your car in a parking lot is the sadder version of that.
Especially when in hindsight, because I thought that I was going to eat it on the road. And
that's fine.
I was like, I could have just, if I was going to sit and eat, I was thinking this. I was like, if I was going to sit and eat, I could have just fucking gone in to Chick-fil-A and done it in there. Gone into there where they're fucking playing their anti-gay music or whatever. I don't know what the inside of a Chick-fil-A is like, but they can't be good.
They play the alternate version of Boys Club, which is Girls Club.
Yes, they play
Girls and Boys Club.
Well, no, they just change the lyrics a little bit to like put in their message. So it's not about gay sex. They make it so it's about like the Boys and Girls Club, like a fucking YMCA type thing, which is also gay. So joke's on them. But I'm sitting there, and this guy's walking over to my car, and I look up, and as I see he's walking over to my car, he's too close for me to react to him.
Oh!
Yeah, so I'm sitting there, and a guy's like almost at my car. So instinctively, my arm goes to the controls, and I rolled down the window instead of locking it because I was like, this guy's just like, if this guy has come here to kill me, he's snuck up well enough that he deserves the kill.
Jesus Christ.
Because if I lock the door, like, he'd be able to be like,
what the fuck, man?
bro, you really just locked the door?
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
you got to do that shit. You got to spot him like 50 feet away and then lock it immediately.
I need to have plausible deniability. If he claims to hear the locking, I'd be like, dude, you were way too far away. There's no way you heard me lock it. It was locked the whole time. I always get in my car and eat a chicken sandwich and lock the door.
You got to lock it before he gets in the red zone.
Right. So I roll down the window, and the guy's like, hey, man, my car is right over there. Can you give me a jump? And I'm flustered for a lot of reasons. A, I'm talking to a stranger, and my parents aren't there. And B, I don't know how to fucking jump a car.
Really?
Like once everything's taken out, I know what to do, but like I don't think that I had ever done that with a stranger before, like helped them start their car like that.
Interesting.
Have you?
Yeah, I've jumped a car before. Well,
but it was probably a friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also I had a piece of shit car in high school, so I had to jump my car like every other week.
Oh.
And so I got very acclimated with the process of jumping a car.
So that's good, though. That's life lessons.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And I drove over to his car. We were the only two cars for like a mile.
That's scary as
fuck. But it was weird. Like, I just was not scared. I knew I should be scared, and I was like, I don't know if for some reason jumping a car didn't seem like a way for someone to scam me. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, pop my fucking hood and he fucking rips out the guzzler, or I don't know what the fucking terms of the car. Like, he just fucking like takes something out and he's like, bitch, got your car, and then drives away, and I'm like, fuck, now my car's useless.
I just love that you think that the guzzler is a part of a car.
No, it's fucking having comedic timing.
No, I know.
I knew that I was like, say something that sounds like it would be a part of the car, but is not. It's called being fucking funny.
I'll try it sometime.
I suppose so. So, you blew up that fucking joke. That was going to be someone's favorite part of the podcast.
No, I think that that's why I thought it was hilarious. I wanted to bring more attention to it.
Thanks, man. So I popped the hood. We're fucking putting the wires to the right places. We're doing it. He starts the car. There's like the struggle of the car wanting to start, and it did it. And it was great. And he was like, thank you so much. Hey, I work at, I forget where he worked. He worked at a restaurant nearby.
Chick-fil-A.
He was like, no.
He was very homophobic.
Right, yeah. He was like, oh, thank you so much. You're not gay, right? He was like, do you want, I don't know what he said. He was like, hey, anytime you come to that restaurant, ask for me. And I was like, what the fuck's that going to do? I'm not going to do that.
Hey, is Jack here?
He said,
yes. Oh, cool.
Good to know. What's the rest of his week like? I don't know.
Well, he said to ask for me, but he didn't specify what to do after that.
I remember I did that one time. I thought it would be funny, and it just was lame. Someone's away message was like, call the cell. So I called their cell, and they were like, hello. And I was like, hey, you said to call?
Just good at following instructions.
Yeah, and he was like, real fucking funny, man. I guess you're going to tell people how you did this, huh? So anyway, he was like...
And that was the last friend you ever had.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, yeah, just ask for Will. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. But he was like, thanks so much, man. Like, I called AAA, and they said to do this or whatever, but it didn't work, and something's wrong with this fucking car, man. It's new. It shouldn't be doing this and all this stuff. And he was like, but thanks, man. Are you Christian? And I was
You
like,
really dropped
yeah,
that?
he asked if I was a
Ooh.
Christian. But just because, like, it was the Christian thing to do to help him. And
That would have made me very uncomfortable.
I was like, no. You see, it was because I was eating a sandwich by myself, and I was distracted by that. And then when I looked up, you were too close. So when I reached for the console, and I gave him, like, the whole fucking bit.
No, man, you don't understand. I was going to lock you out, but I was too slow.
Yeah, right. Just fucking, I'm not a Christian. I'm a slowpoke. So he was like, are you a Christian? And I was like, I was when I was younger. I was kind of raised on it. And then I'm actually woke. So, sorry. And he was like, oh, well, I hope that you become a Christian again. And that was kind of it. And he said, God bless you and everything. And I was like, nah, again, don't need it. Thank you. But that was the fucking...
It's a little too much religion in a car jumping experience.
Well, it
for
sucked
me.
because I'd made the guy's day in so many ways. And he was like, all right, just one last little test. Are you a disappointment to me? Oh, you are. So...
All right, you fix my car, let's fix you.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
It sucked, but it was like we had done so well up to that point. But I was glad. Like I'm better for the experience. Like I'm not a Christian, but I think people mistake me for one now
Well, that's the best that you can hope for.
because I'm just fucking helping strangers. So it was a great fucking time.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. This is the 3rd annual Hot Guys and Weathermen episode. We are quite excited for it, as you can probably see from the title. Our guest is Chaps.
Chaps from Barstool. Uncle Chaps.
We'd wanted to have him for a while, but we'd never even discussed having him.
Actually, our listeners have wanted us to have him for a while.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of guest
Collab requests.
Yes,
Yeah.
guest suggestions from our listeners, but Chaps is for sure one of the most requested guests.
That's because he just fits this.
Yeah.
He's my favorite writer on Barstool. He's I laugh at everything that guy
He's
does.
great. Do you want to give a little background onto what Hot Guys and Weathermen is about?
Oh, right. We should, in case you're a new listener.
Yes.
So, one of our first episodes was called Hot Guys and Weathermen. It featured John Feidelberg, and we just discussed it was really the beginning of this podcast, kind of becoming this podcast. You and I were at a bar one night, and we were talking about guys that we thought were hot, and we were like, we should just do an episode about this because guys definitely discuss which guys are hot, and for whatever, just if you're new to this podcast, we're like the ultimate we're not fucking bros. So if you if you're like a fucking like no homo blah blah, we're not for you.
Yes.
Like fuck you if you do say stuff like that, but also like that's just not us. That's not our style. So we want to have an episode where we just very casually talked about which men we thought were very attractive.
Yes, guys often objectify women, so we decided that we would objectify men and discuss them very shallowly and kind of...
Yeah.
This episode, I feel like we got more into personality-based stuff. That's because Chaps is a good person and sees into the soul, and he made his list based off of that. But, I think a big... I will say the culture has changed a little bit since the first time that we did one of the Hot Guys and Weathermen episodes. Like, I think back when we did the first one...
Well, Feidelberg wanted to bang these guys and never see him again.
Yes. No, but I'll say the general culture surrounding guys talking about other guys has gotten better.
Oh yeah.
Like once we started doing it,
But I think that we're
we
actually a big
wanted-
part of that.
We wanted. That's why we.
Yeah.
A big part of it was we wanted to kind of say, hey, it's okay for a straight guy to talk about a guy and say that he is really, really attractive.
In fact, it's way weirder for a straight guy
to pretend that he's not attracted to other men.
Weirdest fucking thing in the world. And I think that like Feidelberg said that right off the bat. When
Like having to go through life pretending that you never find another guy attractive is probably one of the worst experiences
and
ever.
It's so fucking
Why would you ever
weird.
live your life that way?
And like, what do you do all day then?
So yeah, we wanted to open up the discussion about guys on guys.
And it was very, very passionate. A lot of
yeah.
arguments. For example, the big one that we all were dwelling on was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That I think that
Tom
emotions
Brady.
get in the way too much when people talk about Tom Brady's looks. I think that he's fine, but he's politician hot. And then the big one, the one that gave the episode its name, was Colin Jost. Girls love Colin Jost, and he's just okay. He's a cutish guy who usually wears a suit, and that's fucking fine. But that does not get you on the fucking list.
Great if you like a guy with one lip.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we've this wasn't a weatherman heavy episode, but we got there a little bit.
And we did. There was some good debate.
Yeah, and we've gotten a ton of mileage out of the Colin Jost thing, which was brought up this week by a listener.
Yeah.
That we never could have imagined that we got so much mileage out of the Colin Jost thing, and it's because everybody keeps giving him credit for being handsome.
It's fucking ridiculous. Oh God. Anyway, without further ado, so we're gonna get to Chaps, and then after a big part of this episode is we are going to have our first annual Brunch's Handsomest Man of the Year award. So we're going to have Chaps, and then we're going to have the Handsomest Man of the Year join us for that presentation.
Before we get to Chaps, we have a little quick word from our sponsors.
Holiday Cash. You need it, and I know where to get it. MyBookie is the place to score serious cash on your sports predictions. Believe it or not, the holidays are just around the corner. And while that means plenty of parties, gifts, and spending, it also means there's lots of football, basketball, and hockey games on which you can score big every day. Gender up and play like the pros on game day. You can play the money line, side, or total. MyBookie is your hookup for all your betting needs and offers super fast payouts when you win. Where you bet is just as important as the person or team on whom you're betting. And if you want to make money betting games, you got to go to mybookie.ag. They're the only site I'd recommend. I trust them, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check them out yourself. They have odds on every matchup and a mobile site that makes wagering on your smartphone a breeze. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code CLNS to activate offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid on MyBookie.
MyBookie.
Also, use promo code BRUNCH when you play DraftKings. Very important on that front as well.
Yes. Sign up. Use promo code BRUNCH. Boom.
Let's
Monies.
get to the Hot Guy discussion. Our third panel member for Hot Guys 3, Return of the Guys, is a very handsome man, Chaps. Chaps, how are you?
I'm doing great, friends. How are you guys?
Just wonderful.
You are, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing that you are the first and only person discussed for this panel job for this episode.
It really was. You were the only person.
We were like, should we try Chaps? Yes.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm glad to be on with you guys. I love talking handsome.
Yeah,
All right.
that was the line of thinking. It was you're basically the resident handsome person at Barstool.
Yeah, like I've pretty much like reversed 8 Mile myself, where instead of people calling me ugly, I called everybody else handsome, and so that reciprocated back to me. And now if I post like a selfie, like my real life friends who follow me on Instagram are like, 200 dudes just tell you that you're handsome.
It's a fucking brilliant move. So, like, let's get a little feel for your palate. So we've discussed a lot of guys on here. Idris Elba's a favorite over here. John Hamm is a big one for me. Give me a few of your guys so we can know kind of what we're dealing with.
All right, so I'm not just going to go on looks alone for handsome because I feel like my wife is way out of my league, but she considers me to be handsome in part because I'm a funny dude. I think that plays into it. Like personality can make you more handsome. So my first one's probably going to catch you by surprise. It's Mr. Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais is my first level of handsome.
Wow, that is one way to set the palette.
I think partly because his laugh is adorable, and when you set the stage and have an adorable laugh, it can really affect how people perceive your looks. And I think Ricky does it. Now, when he does the bathtub pics and all that, he's not that handsome. But when he's just fucking about, he's a pretty good-looking dude.
You know what's a really cute thing he does is he'll say something, do a quick little giggle, and then say, "Not really."
Yeah, like there's one scene with him and with Louis C.K., may he rest in peace. So Louis C.K. is in with his doctor, and it's Ricky Gervais.
Oh my God, yes.
And where he's like, your penis looks like chewed bubblegum, like a dog took it off and chewed it for a little bit. And Ricky is like laughing and giggling the whole time. It's probably the hardest I've ever laughed at any TV show in my life.
And the climax of that scene was him sticking his finger up Louis' ass just for fun.
Yeah, which looking back on it now is probably a little problematic.
Yes. If you think that the laugh sets the tone, what do you think of Larry David?
Larry David, for an older gentleman, I would consider him super Silver Fox level because he's like pretty old. He's kind of out of my league. But speaking of Silver Foxes, my next one on the list would be Anderson Cooper.
He's very handsome.
Well, yeah, he's a big.
I don't think we've brought him up before, but he is very, very
So,
handsome.
yeah, just very clean, yeah, he's got
I don't know if
all.
I've ever voiced this, but one of my bucket list goals in life is to be point.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, like you referred to Larry David as a Silver Fox. He can pull off Silver Fox without being even the silver because he's so fucking bald now.
Right?
He's
He's not even a silver fox either. He's a white fox.
Yes.
His hair is very white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Anderson Cooper, yeah, there's no complaints from me.
Another one that I have just to set the table a little bit would be John Mayer.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who can sing, if you're like slightly handsome, if you're like a 7 and you can sing and play guitar, you're like a 10.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, fucking Ed Sheeran, I think, is
Ed Sheeran's
10s
probably like
across the board, and he's the
soft 3.
ugliest. He's like the hardest person on the eyes ever. His tattoos are junk. Just there's nothing there. But then once he fucking starts singing and rapping, God, give me it all. Love it.
Man, I went to an Ed Sheeran concert a few months ago. Did you know that he makes all the music himself? Like everything. He doesn't have a band. He doesn't have anything.
like the loop pedal.
Yeah, he does that one-man band type thing.
I didn't know that. And when I went, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like my wife is, because she knew that I didn't know it. And she was watching me watch him. And I wanted to fuck him like on stage. Like, if you can loop pedal good, I'm coming to get them guts.
Here's the issue, though. If you can loop pedal good, it's awesome. But if you do it for every fucking song, then like it takes 9 minutes to start every song because you have to layer everything. You have to like put down the percussion, then you have to put down the bass, then you have to put down the guitar and everything. And
That's
like
true.
the first time you see it, you're like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then you're like, he just started my favorite song. I should go get a beer. So by the time I get back, he's actually playing my favorite song.
It's also like we already know that Ed Sheeran is an incredible musician. So for him to just do that, it's like, all right, bud, we get it.
Yeah.
So I think it might be like you were saying, he kind of has to make up for his looks.
Yeah.
So he's like, here's this incredible shit that I can do, and he just pounds it into your brain.
I loved here that this will really do it for you, chaps. For 1 week, John Mayer sat in for, I think it was David Letterman.
Yeah.
And the musical guest.
Oh no, I think it was Seth Meyers.
I don't know, one of those guys. And the musical guest was Ed Sheeran, and they played "Don't" together, and it was terrific.
Wow.
And
And
John Mayer,
I think with the 27-minute long thing, I think that's like what Dave Matthews does. So I feel like if you have that, Dave Matthews underrated handsome guy too.
ooh, Dave Matthews. I don't know. Dave Matthews. He's always got like a scowl about him. that I
Not
don't
Dave
understand.
Matthews
Like,
now, but Dave Matthews 1997. Come on.
All right, so let's start in the news here. I think I've discussed this. I think that LeVar Ball is just very handsome, and no one talks about it because we're too busy talking about whatever the fuck he's doing. It's always something different every day. I think that he's got the most winning smile ever. I've written a column about it for NBC Sports Boston. They decided not to run it, but I think that just when he says something and then he knows like it doesn't necessarily make sense and he kind of wrinkles his face and he has a little smile. I think it's very, 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 very endearing.
I deduct points because his children are very ugly.
So, right. I think that LeVar is better than Lonzo for everything. I think that Lonzo's more annoying than LeVar. I think that LeVar is for sure more handsome than Lonzo. Lonzo's fucking trash. I think that LeVar has a better shooting percentage right now.
Lonzo's trash all around.
Yeah.
I also they did one of those things recently. The Lakers were like, who do you get compared the most to, like a celebrity? And Lonzo was like Drake, and we were like, who the fuck is
out
that?
here?
Yeah.
Do you have any friends with eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate Lonzo's hair. To be a multimillionaire at that young age and not being able to find a quality barber.
Yeah.
What about Mark Davis? Mark Davis is a multi-billionaire, and he has the worst haircut on the planet.
I feel like the rules are different when you obviously wear an adult diaper. Like, I feel like it changes the dynamic a little
When
bit.
you just fucking
And I don't really feel comfortable
screen.
making fun of people who are obviously on the spectrum. So I think we got to leave Mark Davis alone.
You've both dropped an old person at this point. My old person that I think is at the top of my echelon in the past year, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is just unbelievable to me. And he's like looks goals and personality goals.
So that's the thing. Jeff Goldblum, for some reason, needs to be clarified, though. It doesn't go without saying for some reason with him because he's been a punchline for so many years. Like, people are fascinated with him. He's got kind of a Bill Murray type thing, except it's more people laughing at him than with him. And I don't really understand that.
I don't think anybody should be laughing at him anymore because
No, I think he's an intellectual. He's a smart guy.
Yes, yes, he's like a mystery man. He's got a lot of layers. He's very distinguished.
Yes,
and he's just very unapologetically weird, and I love that about him.
I like to think that he rubs his fingers together a lot, like this.
Yes,
you know, like if he's just like leaning,
and,
if he's
he has
waiting,
a real like syncopated way of talking.
Yeah. Like he does apartments.com commercials, and I'm like, what does this guy have to say? Like, there's nothing that he could talk about that I would be disinterested in.
He wasn't that attractive as like a younger guy.
He wasn't. No.
But getting a little bit of gray, getting a little bit more wisdom, he's added a lot. Another person in that same category would be Barack Obama. Barack Obama is more handsome as the years have gone by.
And plus, he's the one who got away. Like, the one who got away gets hotter and hotter in your mind. I'm romanticizing the fuck out of Barack Obama's politics, out of everything with that guy.
His appropriate use of like a semicolon, you're like, wow, he knows grammar.
He really is like the one that got away kind of sexy because he only gets hotter. He's physically gotten hotter, but he's also gotten more ideal in your head because you've since gone through some shit after he's left you.
On the flip side of that, can we do flip side of that coin?
Sure.
On the downward hill of handsome would be Bill Clinton.
Which is rare, so we should clarify. We talk all the time about how typically it's like if you're a guy, there's a 90% chance you're going to get better looking as you age. It's not good to be in that other 10% because not only are you everybody else is going up while you're going down, so there's a lot of separation created there very, very quickly. And Bill Clinton is a great call there because he does look awful.
Looks terrible.
Yeah.
He looks terrible, and a lot of that's because he spent a lot of time outside in Arkansas as a youth. I think we say youth, right? You guys say youth too. So he was in Arkansas as a youth, getting all kinds of skin cancer. Like, he's got all kinds of skin things going on in his face.
His skin is terrible.
Yeah.
His nose is very like swollen and red. He just looks very bad. But there's like a point where guys just keep getting more and more handsome as they go on, and then they just become an old person.
Yeah, we
like,
discussed that a
the
couple
age?
weeks ago. I forget. I don't think we settled on anything. I think we got distracted and talked about something else.
Okay.
But
63.
Yeah?
63.
Is there like a formula?
Well,
for that?
63 is the new 56, by the way. So it used to be 56.
Well,
now for sure guys are 56 and still hot.
because Paul McCartney's like 70, but he's crossed into adorable. And I never actually no, Paul was I think that Paul was adorable as a teen and then got handsome and now he's back into adorable. But I think that that's where you want to go. Like, once you're old, you want to be adorable.
Right.
And that's where being like a bubblegum pop guy comes into big time benefit, because if you're like a rugged looking dude, like say John Hamm. John Hamm's not going to be an adorable old man. He's going to be an old man who's off the face of the mountain. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he is going to be an adorable.
Ooh, yes, yeah, it comes back. I feel like you were probably adorable as a kid, Pete. Were you?
Yeah.
I
still kind of am adorable because
you are.
I look like I'm 12.
Here's one for the age thing. Gerard Butler always looks like he used to be hot, and he's just not anymore. Like, I think that when he was 30, we were like, I bet when he's having a little rough patch now, but I bet when he was 25, he was a fucking babe. And now that he's like 50, we're like, I bet when he was 30.
Gerard Butler seems like the kind of guy who nobody can ever tell his age.
Yeah. I don't even know. I think 50 is actually a good guess with him.
The dude from Taken is that way too, where you think that he was handsome at one point.
Yes. Yeah.
It was Liam
But
Neeson
his head's a little bit too wide, like it like smashed it down.
He's like frail, but if you called him frail, he'd be like, "No, I'm not. Look," and he'd show you like his arms or whatever. You'd be like, "All right, fine. I guess you're not frail." But we all
There's
think
something
you're frail.
weird that's not. There's something disproportionate there. I don't think I've ever looked at Liam Neeson and been like, he was.
You don't sexualize Liam Neeson.
Maybe it's because he's always sad from being like having a family.
Well, he's
member
always
taken
too
from
fucking
him.
busy. He's fucking
Yes.
fighting wolves. Chaps, did you see the Wolf Fighter movie with Liam Neeson?
I did.
What'd you think?
Not good, actually bad.
All that happened was wolves just kept coming and eating his friends, and he was like, "I'll fight the wolves." And then
There's like 10 minutes of plot in any Liam Neeson movie. Like it's what's going to happen, it's happening, and then it's over.
And then he's just kicking people's asses for like
Whether it be wolves,
40
frogs,
hours.
whatever.
what I like about Liam Neeson movies is it's all about him getting revenge until he gets it, and then it's about the people on whom he got revenge getting revenge on him, and then there's another movie.
It's a nice little cycle, though. It's like a slinky of movies.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great career move because you're never out of work.
You're like, what are we going to do now? Let's do Taken 8.
We just did a plane. Let's put him on a train now. Yes, yes. Planes, trains, and automobiles. In the barely legal division, I have Shawn Mendes.
I have Shawn Mendes as a fuck off because he is
Really?
not. Shawn Mendes looks like a fucking. What did I write down? I have it right here. I have a note about Shawn Mendes. It is. I don't think Shawn Mendes is hot. Looks like a kid. Grow up! Exclamation point.
That's a good note, yeah.
I think that he's developing more manly features. But he's like for sure in the young man's division.
But it's like for some people, I think like casting directors or people like Allison Jones or whatever, they've got some fucking gift where they can look at a child and it's like a sick gift, but they can look at a child and
I
be
know
like,
he's going to be hot.
they're going to be smoking hot. Like
Bieber. How did anybody like Bieber was a cute kid, but I don't think anybody would have predicted that Bieber would grow up into like the handsome person that he is.
He should be in a category of his own where it's like he is so handsome that he was tired of handsome, so he started dyeing his hair blonde to not be handsome, and it's still like
you know
only
we call
got
that?
more handsome.
Chaps, you know, we actually have a term for that. It's called the hot tub effect because when when you're in a hot tub and the water is warm and then it doesn't feel so warm anymore because you've been there for so long.
Mhm.
So you get out, you jump in the pool, that feels really cold, and then you get back in the hot tub, all of a sudden hot again. So the trick is you make yourself ugly for a little bit just so people can kind of forget that you're hot. And then when you make yourself hot again, it's like you're a brand new hot, even though you just look the way you looked before.
You know who the king of that is?
It's a very common trick.
Brad Pitt is the king of that.
Ooh,
Brad Pitt is
Pitt's
the
not a
king
bad
of like having like pretty bad haircuts, and then he'll come back with like a fire haircut.
Actually.
And it's like, holy shit.
You know who actually is the king of that? Tom Brady. Tom Brady just gets a bad haircut like every other year.
Well,
Pretty good at it.
Tom Brady did the hot tub effect where he spent the first like 26 years of his life in the pool, never got in the hot tub. And then once he got in the hot tub, he had some fucking thing. He had like an automatic thing that raises the degrees every time it feels like it's maybe not so hot anymore. So it's always fucking sizzling with that guy.
He went 11-5 and became a great quarterback and was like, you know what? I need to look like one too.
Yes. Although I think we said on the first one that my favorite move that Tom Brady has ever done was doing the Jake Plummer look right after Jake Plummer did the Jake Plummer look. And when Jake Plummer did it, everyone was like, gross, fucking suck, terrible signing. And then when Tom Brady did it, everyone was like, man, he's like a football player and a model.
Tough break for Jake Plummer.
as usual.
In the athlete discussion, we have to talk about, we've been yelled at this a few times. We have not brought up Olivier Giroud, who is a soccer player for Arsenal.
I was going to say, fucking help me out.
Olivier
I was like, I hope he's
Giroud
not a
is
fucking
soccer player for Arsenal. He has always been really, really handsome. I don't know if you want to look him up, but
Does he have the automatic soccer player undercut haircut?
Yes. Yes. But he was hot. He was like pretty boy hot for a number of years. And then about a year or two ago, he decided that he was going to grow a beard. And he grew like the most perfect beard, and it transitioned him into rugged hot. And he is
I don't like that
hotter.
beard. It elongates his face too much. He needs the beard. He needs the beard to go out a little more. He makes it look
like
like
the
he
beard.
just stretched his face and then painted the bottom.
He
of
doesn't
it
have
with
good
color.
enough. He doesn't have good enough skin for me. I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, his skin is a little rough. Like you can tell that he had some bad acne at one point, but it's not bad enough to ruin him. I think that he still pulls it off, especially with the beard. Now he's got like rugged skin and the beard.
You know what he is? He's the Joe Manganiello of soccer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good call.
And I would say that you undersold his haircut. I think that his haircut is a lot better than the typical fucking, like, it is
It
like,
is an
tight on the
undercut.
sides, yeah, but it's not the fucking every fucking soccer player looks like Macklemore thing. Speaking of which, Macklemore on the AMAs the other day looked quite good. I haven't needed Macklemore for a long ass time, but I was like, you know what? That looks pretty good right now.
Do either of you watch This Is Us?
Mm-mm. I don't like to cry.
Hear people talk about it
You don't
every
like to
second.
you don't like to cry?
Yeah, I've heard it's a big cry show, and at night I like to watch stuff that makes me happy.
Yeah. Okay. But there is a trio of handsome gentlemen in that show, and I wanted to get you to rank them.
Okay.
It's Milo Ventimiglia. I don't know how you say his last name. Milo, Sterling K. Brown, and Justin Hartley. Justin Hartley is the guy from Bad Moms Christmas who plays the stripper.
Oh, so that guy I don't need. I think that Justin Hartley's the second hottest guy in Bad Moms Christmas. I think that her boyfriend in Bad Moms is
He
just
doesn't
quite
do it for
good.
me.
Ooh, I love this. I'm loving this fucking Milo guy.
Yeah, Milo is very, very handsome.
He looks like a combination of Jason Schwartzman and Lars Ulrich, and I find either of those guys hot, but for some reason when you combine them, it's delicious.
Milo is also a very younger person on Gilmore Girls.
Ooh.
But now he's got like the look that he can pull off
Oh, I'm
any
obsessed
look.
with this guy. So he's a Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's got good. He looks good with facial hair. He looks good, clean cut. He has good hair. He's got it going on.
I
He
would
really
hate to
does.
be this fucking guy because he looks good with this guy can. I defy this guy. I challenge him to hot tub effect himself because I don't think you can.
I'm
Dude,
going with
we-
Sterling Brown there. He's got good
Sterling
traps.
K.
Looking
He
at him
is
shirtless
in
right now.
really, really good shape.
He looks smart and he's in shape.
What
Looks like he
else
takes
is?
care of
He's
himself.
an insecure.
Yes.
He plays the older gentleman that tries to get what's her name,
Oh, Molly.
Molly. He's trying to
Yes.
date Molly, and he's like a doctor and like really successful, and she's just not into it for some reason.
Speaking of Insecure, Chap, you watch Insecure?
No, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, honestly.
Ooh. Well, Insecure is a terrific show,
It
but
is.
the issue is they don't have a single ugly guy on it. So it's a very distracting show because just between how goddamn handsome they are and like especially Jay Ellis's character, Lawrence, wears really cool shirts all the time. So you like I can never fucking follow the plot because I'm just fucking drooling the entire time. But the guy who plays Dro, the guy that Molly does get with when Sterling K. Brown might be the better option. I think that he gets a lot of comparisons to O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I love O'Shea Jackson Jr. The guy who plays Dro, his name is Elon Noel, blows him the fuck out of the
No,
water.
it's
Oh, no,
Sarunas
that's
J.
Sarunas
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Elon Noel's the other guy. Elon Noel is Daniel, who's also really
Yeah.
hot. But Sarunas J. Jackson, his eyes just fucking sent him to another planet.
he's the kind of guy that looks like he's wearing mascara.
Oh, he's
After
not.
he
Like,
has-
I don't trust that Derek Carr isn't
No.
wearing mascara.
Or no, not mascara, eyeliner. He He looks like he's wearing eyeliner.
Yeah.
A great makeup guy over here. But no, I have him on my list. I think that he is really, really attractive.
Serena Shea Jackson? Yeah, he's a fucking babe and a half.
What about Alexander Skarsgård?
We've discussed him, and I think that we both think a little overrated.
Yeah, I think he's overrated.
I feel like his
Tom
character
Hiddleston
in
also.
Big Little Lies brought him down because nobody wants to see domestic abuse on camera.
Right.
Yeah, he was a monster on that show.
Yeah.
Just a complete monster.
Like, the twist of that was like, oh, man, we think that this guy's abusing this woman. Twist. He abuses every woman.
Yes. Just like every woman that he comes in contact with. Just very, very abusive.
Well, he had that tennis racket coming. Am I right, fellas?
He also had a gigantic wiener on that show. Just like down
Shout
to
out
his
to
knee.
him for that wiener, yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, I think, is also overrated. I want to talk about him as an overrated guy. Also, he's way older than I thought.
Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah.
What is he? Is he in his 40s?
He's 35.
Okay.
I thought that he was like my age,
So
something
he's
like
younger
that.
than I thought. I
Really?
figured he could be in his early 40s.
I think that dating Taylor Swift is kind of a childish thing. I think that's kind of a young man's game.
Yes.
So I guess I know that she's dated older guys, but I think that it's just established now that like bad shit happens to you if you date Taylor Swift. So I thought that an older gentleman would know better.
Even with Taylor Swift's reputation, she has a real murderer's row of guys that she's dated.
Yeah.
Like, she has Mayer on that list. She has Jake Gyllenhaal,
Calvin
Tom
Harris.
Hiddleston,
A lot of people don't like
Harris.
Calvin Harris. I think that he's pretty.
He's an attractive dude.
Yeah. I have written down Diplo looks like the biggest dick in the world, but I can't resist him.
Interesting. So, I mean, girls have that problem all the time. They just can't resist the biggest assholes.
Do you remember when we were in one of the times we were in Chicago? Diplo. It was after Lollapalooza. Diplo was DJing at a club.
Yes.
And we went to check tickets. Girls were free, and tickets for males were like $1,000.
No, it was just an all-girl show. Males were just legitimately not allowed.
No, they were.
Really?
You know, girls were admitted for free. Guys had to get tickets, and the tickets were seriously like $300. We did
Dude
not
was
go.
such a douche.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about
one of the guys that go ahead?
Jason Statham?
Ooh.
He doesn't really do it for me. He's
dangerous though. He is
dangerous, but he's bald. There's not enough to distinguish Jason Statham from any other bald action star.
Also, I want emotionally dangerous. I don't want physically dangerous. Like, I want so like the first Hot Guys and Weathermen, Father John Misty was one of mine, which is awkward because now we're very good friends and now it's like he knows that I've got feelings and all that shit. But I think that he's dangerous and that you don't know what the fuck's going on in that brain. Jason Statham, I think that there's a good chance there's gonna be fire all the time, and I'm not trying to be around that much fire.
Like, you could go on a date with Jason Statham and end up in the trunk of his car.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't want that kind of danger.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I want, like, I'm gonna be eating a box of cookies and drinking a bottle of whiskey by myself at the end of the night. Dangerous.
So me,
Real
basically.
What's that?
That's basically me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so DJ wants to date Chaps. So that's what we've established here.
Deal.
One of the guys that you brought up earlier in the week, I don't know if you wanted to bring this up on your own. I'm going to do it anyway.
Good.
Armie Hammer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think that there's a lot of discussion that can circle around Armie Hammer because Armie Hammer, I think he's like almost sexually typecast for me. He always plays
Handsome, like he just plays the eye candy.
well, kind of, but like in fucking The Social Network,
Yeah.
he's always like whining about something, and I think that like I find insecurity unattractive. I know it's normal, but I find it unattractive. Like, it's so, like for me, I'm happy that I'm not insecure because I know that I'm just fucked. So, but when I see it in like Armie Hammer in Social Network, I think it just kind of it ruins it for me.
He does play like a kind of a whiny crybaby in
Yeah.
almost everything that he's casting.
He's
but
like fucking Caillou.
I don't know why that's the case. Like I feel like he's gotten a shot as being like a leading man.
Has he?
Yeah, like he was in that movie with where he was like the cowboy or whatever it was with Johnny Depp, I think it was.
Ooh.
Tell
Tell me more about this movie.
I don't think it went well. I think it was received very poorly, and then he just hasn't gotten a shot since.
Sounds like my kind of movie.
But now he's being talked about as a possible Batman replacement.
Really?
Yeah, I would be there for that.
A lot of Batman stuff in the news. Gotta say, I don't really care about it.
I care about it, but it's tough to care now because Batman.
There's
is
too many
just-
Superman movies. There's like one every week, dude.
yeah.
Like there's nothing that's must see because if you miss this one, there's going to be one in like a week and a half.
Well, that and it's also like they all tie in together. So if you miss one of them, you're gonna miss like future references and anyone that you want to see coming up. So I feel like I've fallen behind so much to the point where it's not even worth it for me at this.
Well,
point.
like my childhood, there was like 4 Batman movies. You can name them all. There's no chance in hell you can name all these.
It was like the Olympics.
No way. Yeah.
You got to wait like every 4 years for a new Batman movie or
Right.
whatever, and a lot of times. I mean, they'd unveil this great, amazing cast, and I think it was once it switched to Batman Forever. I think that was one of those jobs where it was like, wasn't there a Batman 2 years ago? This is going a little quicker, and then from there, there's just been a Batman movie every month.
But I mean, like I feel like there was still a little bit of specialness when Christopher Nolan was doing it because he wasn't mixing it in with the other universes or whatever. I do feel like you need at least like 3 years in between these superhero movies because I feel like a big appeal of the superhero movie is that you don't get to see them very often. So when they actually do come out with one, it's special. Like it's a big event.
Like Star
it's
Wars,
not an event
like
anymore.
Star Wars is now.
Yes, yeah, right, exactly. Like if you see Darth Vader come on the screen every year, it kind of takes away the
Waters
shine.
it down. Yeah,
exactly.
How about Taron Egerton? How do you say his last name? Egerton?
Yeah.
I think that
he is unbelievable.
I think that he's a very handsome boy, but I don't know if this is a but or not. All of his appeal is his smugness. Like he has a resting smug face, and part of me is like, what are you so smug about? But he just like looks back at me and he's like, you know what I'm smug about? And I'm like, okay, deal.
Not a fan.
You might also know him from. I know that you got little ones. You might also know him from Sing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Sing. I don't think this guy's all that.
He's the gorilla boy, and he played I'm Still Standing at the end, and he's okay in it. But
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I don't agree with this one, fellas.
He's got a very strong jawline, very smug, great
He's
smile.
probably just too young for me, honestly. He just looks really young.
When he wears those big glasses. Oh no! Like even when he's a punk, I got this picture of him where he's the punk in the first Kingsman, and giddy up, man, cowabunga.
Yeah, he can pull off multiple styles. I think that's important. Also, on the topic of the Kingsman, I think Pedro Pascal is a really good looking dude.
Yeah, and he's versatile too.
Right, he's great in Narcos. Awesome in Game of Thrones.
He's basically he's like the new Eric Bana. Is that his name?
That's a weird comparison. Eric Bana was the guy who played like the Hulk.
I don't know if he played the Hulk, but he's in Munich and he's in a gambling movie. But I always thought that Eric Bana could kind of play any sort of character, and I would trust it. He could be a good guy, bad guy, tall guy, sad guy.
Do you guys watch $1 Million Listing?
No.
Is that an HGTV thing?
No, it's Bravo thing. But the dude on there, look him up. Frederick Eklund. It's Eclund. He's like the main dude. He used to be like a gay porn star from Norway or some shit like that, Switzerland maybe. And he's like legit the hottest dude on TV.
Oh, absolutely not.
You don't like that guy?
Oh, no way.
Absolutely not. This
No
guy
way.
is not attractive at all.
Oh, wow.
Do you think that he is the hottest guy on TV?
He looks
He's
like
one of. You don't think so?
Oh, absolutely not.
he looks like if you made a middle schooler an adult and then never changed anything about their middle school face. Like, look at his fucking grin. I hate that smile.
Oh man,
Look up.
I've lost a lot of respect
Dude,
after
this
that
guy's
take.
cheeks are
This
out of
guy-
control.
Yeah, I hate this guy's face.
Wow. Well, what about the other dude that's on there? Steve Gold. Look up Steve Gold. Do you know Steve Gold?
It's got to be an upgrade. Let's see.
It can't be worse than you just gave us.
Oh, Steve Gold. No, Steve Gold
Steve
looks
Gold
kinda,
is,
Steve
is
Gold
better
looks a little
looking.
too much like me, quite frankly.
He looks like Jon Snow. You don't watch
He's
Game of
Jon
Thrones.
Yeah,
Snow-ish.
people tell me that I look like Jon Snow, and then I look
Okay.
it up, and I'm like, fuck Jon Snow.
If while we're on Jon Snow, I think he's kind of overrated.
I think so. Yeah.
Like people love him for his character more than like Kit Harington. I don't think is knocking anybody's panties off if he wasn't Jon Snow.
No.
you know
Not
what?
mine.
Steve Gold is growing on me as I scroll down.
I'm still a little shook
He's
by
doing
you
some
trying
things
to
that I
sell
could
this
never.
other fucking schmo on us as the hottest guy on TV. That is a wild proclamation.
I think he's pretty hot.
That is wild.
Do we take Mario Lopez seriously
No.
as a hot guy because we're all just sick of him?
I mean, like he is for sure an attractive guy, but he's
Unbelievable
so fake
staying
to me
power.
that
I wish I had those genes.
absolutely. I mean, he looks just as good now as he did 20
But
years
you know what?
ago.
I just saw a picture. I Googled Mario Lopez, and one of the first pictures is him on the beach. Quite frankly, with his shirt off for some reason. It feels like I'm not supposed to be looking at that.
But he's been in impeccable shape forever, and it makes me angry.
And he came to San Antonio, and it was a big thing on the radio. There's this new like 5-star restaurant that opened up, and it was like sold out for weeks at a time, which doesn't happen in San Antonio. And so he was here on like business, and he called the restaurant. He's like, "Hey, if you guys let me get a table and eat for free, then I'll use my Instagram account and say that I'm eating here to give you some publicity." And the chef just basically told him to go fuck himself. It's like, dude, you're Mario
That-
Lopez.
Oh, that's awesome.
That sucks so much, but also my
He like
goal.
the chef
in
like
life-
screenshotted the message that he sent him on Instagram and was like,
Oh.
"Yeah, go fuck yourself."
So
That is brutal.
the only reason I think I'm even in my line of work is because I fear that if I ever go bald, I want to get a free hair thing, and then you do because I don't know if it's like this in Texas, but in Boston, if there's a fucking problem with your hair at all, there's like 10 fucking hair transplant doctors that are lined up that are like, "Yo, we'll do it for you, and all you got to do is say that I'm your hair doctor." So that's the only fucking reason I'm in this line of work, is because if I need a hair thing, I want to be able to get it for free.
I asked Erica this week when we were in
That's
Vegas.
it.
I'm like, "Hey, can you hook me up with Dave's person because my hair is starting to go a little south?" And she was like, "I don't think you need to do it." I was
Is
like,
it really?
Dude, it's nuts how different and how much better Dave looks.
Yeah. It really he
Insane.
really has reversed the bus.
And
Well,
he did the right thing.
Like, by losing a lot of weight. He lost a ton of weight too.
Right. That's the thing. You got to do it like when so I only have one tattoo, and I got it on my forearm, and I made sure that when I got the tattoo, I was also kind of in shape. So there needs to be like a sneaky double unveil where it's, ooh, look at this thing, and also just overall you look terrific. That's what you got. I also did that one time. I had long hair. I cut it for a wedding, and then I wore suspenders at the wedding too.
You know what I just realized, that Dave followed the Tom Brady blueprint. He was
That
like,
does not surprise me.
he was like kind of out of shape. He slimmed down, like lost some fat in his face. He grew a beard, and then he got a hair transplant and dressed better, and he just immediately became way better looking.
Millions of dollars always helps.
We were saying that
Yes, that does.
we were saying that if you say that you made something up, you sound like an asshole. But if you say, "Look how good I look," no one seems to say like, "Oh, what an asshole." Like they're legitimately happy for you.
Well,
If-
I get angry at the people that pretend that they don't look good or find like an.
oh yeah, we've talked about this on
we-
Instagram.
We
where
talk
it's
about like the Instagram behaviors of people who know that they're good looking but refuse to admit it. So they'll just like post a picture and then have the dumbest caption in the world just to justify why they posted the picture. I'd rather have somebody just post a picture and be like, "Look how great I look."
yeah.
Yeah.
One of my captions was
Stunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a friend in town, and we took a picture together, and it was this great picture, and I put it up, and it was a good picture because all of our friends were in there, and it was like a lot of us reuniting and everything, and I posted it, and then like 1 minute later, I realized there was another picture taken from that night that I don't post too many things on Instagram, so I'll never post like 3 or 4 things in a day or whatever, but I saw there was another picture from that night where I just fucking happened to look great. So I posted that one as well with, should have posted this. I had it going on yesterday. And nobody was like, brag much or whatever. They were like, yes,
I feel like people,
good call.
they embrace the honesty in situations like that.
Yeah.
Do we have any guys that we want to talk about being possible weathermen? Because, so do you have an understanding of the term weatherman?
I don't.
Okay. On the first edition of this special that we did, Colin Jost was brought up, and we decided that he was a weatherman because people think that he's attractive, but it's really because he has a nice haircut and he dresses well.
Yes.
And it just basically inflates everybody's opinion of him.
Right.
That could be the
So,
guy
do we
that
have
might
any-
be the reason why the dude from $1 Million Listing sticks out, because he's got a great fucking haircut and he dresses crazy good.
I don't. That guy's
And
fucking.
you guys
I don't see anything
know.
but cheeks when I look at that guy.
The look of judgment in your eyes is a little too much for me right now. I'm going to say that.
This guy like doesn't even qualify for weatherman for me because the suit and the haircut isn't even doing it for me. It's-
Unbelievable.
It's not.
I'm trying to think of a guy who would be, like I would say that Tom Hiddleston would be a weatherman. Eddie Redmayne, I can't say because I think that a lot of people, I think that Eddie Redmayne is a legitimate toss-up in his own right. Like people would be justified in saying definitely, people would be justified in saying not at all. But it's not like Colin Jost is kind of on the line. I don't begrudge anyone who's like, yeah, he's okay. But if they're like, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
I gotta toss you out.
I think in that category, I don't know if I said this on one of the previous episodes, but like Ryan Seacrest is, I believe, a weatherman.
Ryan Lochte, I think, is.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that's
I don't think Leo.
Don't you fix your?
I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio is that attractive on his own. Like if he's dressed in sweatpants and stuff, and you don't know that's Leo, he doesn't bat my eyes if I'm going.
I think that
Wendy's
you
drive-thru.
gotta ask your mom permission to go see Leonardo DiCaprio at the mall because those eyes are piercing.
I kind of like side with Chaps here because he's a product of when he does himself up, he looks great, but there's nothing overly spectacular about Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't think.
I think that you've got to ask your mom permission to go see Leonardo DiCaprio at the mall because his eyes are piercing.
I don't know. He's got like a
I don't
fat
think so.
face. He's got a fattish face.
Yeah, he's not great.
Yeah, I'm kind of. He was for sure an attractive younger gentleman, but he
Oh,
is
see,
not-
I think that he's gotten better.
really. I
No,
don't think
no,
he's
no.
aged particularly.
I think
well.
that he's a good, shitty-looking man. I think, like, right now he's, like, I'm looking at this
25,
picture
20.
of him.
25 to 30, Leo, great. 40-year-old Leo is
Yeah.
like clearly that he's been boozing for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh God, fucking like. Oh man, leave it in for like a month because those eyes are piercing.
Oh my god, that's the only thing that you can say.
And they're not even that piercing. They're like not that great.
he has
like
great- he has great
McDreamy-
eyes.
If you said that about McDreamy, I'd be like, yeah, McDreamy.
I
has
will
piercing
say-
eyes.
I don't know who his makeup person is. So when I go in, so for work now I do makeup. I didn't used to do makeup, and now I do makeup. And God, I don't know what the fuck I was doing without makeup. It's terrific because you watch them. It's like ironing. It's just you're bringing order to chaos. And I see as they do it, the fucking shit under my eyes just goes away, and suddenly it looks terrific. So now whenever I see a celebrity with shit under their eyes, like Leo in a lot of these pictures, I'm like, who the fuck is doing your makeup, dude? It's not. You see what I'm saying? The shit that he's got under his eyes.
You know who
That
Leonardo
looks
DiCaprio
terrible.
kind of looks like?
I thought his eyes were piercing. Why are you distracted by the bullshit
They
underneath
are,
them?
but it's the shit. I accidentally took a dip and looked a little below, and
I let my eyes wander.
yeah, and
Eyes up here, buddy.
yeah, exactly.
I don't
Eyes
know
up
that.
here. Stop looking at the shit below.
Focus on the iris, not the lids.
Who Leonardo DiCaprio kind of looks like? Blake Shelton.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look at Blake Shelton and look at Leonardo DiCaprio. They're like they have similar features.
The beady eyes kind of thing.
and- Yeah, and like the round face with the kind of shitty facial hair.
So Blake Shelton is a bad-looking shitty man. Leonardo DiCaprio is a great-looking shitty man.
Like, they could be brothers, and you'd be like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio got the better end of the stick there.
Although now I'm fucking mad because now I'm just distracted by the shit under his eyes. Every picture, it's bad, dude. What's going on?
That wasn't there when he was 25. So he was like 25, 30-year-old. He was like a perfect looking dude. Now, not so much.
The shit under your eyes suggests you know how to party.
Leonardo DiCaprio is basically Philip Rivers. Like, he's just riding on like 5 years ago's fame, and he's not doing it right now.
So you're saying that to the wrong person because Philip Rivers is my fucking god. Best quarterback in the 2004 draft class. Eli trash.
Weatherman.
J.P. Lossman also trash, but he legitimately.
Weatherman. Luke Bryan.
Oh, well, I'm down for anything that's shitting on Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan is 100% a weatherman, and he gets way too much credit. I don't know if it's because there aren't enough. That's not true because there are a lot of like sexy country stars. Luke Bryan is not up there anymore. He's just never really been up
there.
Fuck
that guy. What do you think of Luke Bryan, chaps?
Not a fan. I'm out on Luke Bryan.
You know what we think of Luke Bryan? We think that when he messes something up, he says, "I'm such a doofus." Because you could just tell. Like a
Taylor Swift, where you're not a doofus, you're a multimillionaire and like a successful singer, but you want everybody to think that you're just one of us. You're not one of us, dude.
Yeah. Because we're not fucking doofuses.
While we're on country stars, Sam Hunt. What do you think about Sam Hunt?
I think that he used to play college football. People forget that.
Yes.
Very handsome. I think he's very handsome.
Yeah.
Let me look at Sam Hunt.
Yeah, he had a bad haircut for a little while. He went with that undercut look, and he didn't really work.
He's much better in a hat. He's
much better in a hat, and hat and beard for sure.
Yeah, I love the beard. He looks like such an asshole though.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like
his long beard's not great. When he has like a long beard, it's when he has like 3-day stubble that he's the best.
Scruff.
Yeah.
You know who I think is unbelievable, and we've never talked about him for some reason? He's just got great fucking lips and everything. Orlando Bloom.
I think he's overrated. I mean, he was
hot shit because of Pirates of the Caribbean, but I saw him in fucking Easy, and I didn't know who he was. I was like, who's this man?
I mean, he's for sure attractive. I think that he do love the facial hair look with like the mustache and then
the V for Vendetta look.
Yes, yeah. I think that's an awesome look.
Yeah,
and there are a few people that
especially if you give it a little something on the end.
Yes.
If you let it go just a little long, like it. Let's see. Who else do I have on here? Oh, here's a toss-up. Who's the hotter Wilson brother, Owen or Luke?
That's a question straight out of 2002. Owen Wilson's biggest flaw that everybody points out is
that he says "wow" too much.
No, his nose is the most fucked up nose I've ever seen.
Yeah, but nose as a guy with the nose, I think that nose it's a strength. The second you seem like you're worried about your nose, problem for everyone else. But if you're like, yeah, I got this nose, baby, then suddenly it's like no one else got that nose.
Yeah, I think honestly, out of that twosome, I would take Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I think I go Owen by a mile.
I think.
Well, yeah. Now I'm looking at some more recent pictures. Luke looks like he eats way too much salt. He's just like really swollen looking.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't know
I haven't seen Luke Wilson in a while.
You're looking at, but
real blooded. He needs to stop. He needs to stop
his
eating
Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's the picture I'm looking at.
Wikipedia yeah, he looks terrible in that picture.
Yeah.
Oh no!
God.
Doesn't he look like he ate
like
way too much salt?
But yes,
he looks like fucking Mark Cuban, but a bad Mark Cuban.
He either looks like he eats way too much salt or he drinks way too much.
And probably.
Oh, there's another one. Check out his famous birthdays.
Thirsty.
Oh man, he does not look good. Oh, but for some reason, when I Googled Luke Wilson, a picture of David Harbour came up, and we'd be remiss if we actually, so we couldn't make it happen, but we wanted to have David Harbour on Monday to interview him just about his body and how everyone loves his body now. But we couldn't make it happen.
Can't say why.
Before we move on, I just want to say
I saw it on like a split screen. a dude who's taken a big tumble, David Arquette. Goodness gracious. He just took a big stumble. Like he went from like probably being like a 6. He's probably like a 2 now.
You know, David Arquette and Luke Wilson could be like the same person.
Actually, there's a picture of them next to each other.
That's where I saw it. Yeah.
When I googled David Arquette. Yeah.
Ugh, he looks terrible. But I think Luke Wilson has such a strong jawline that it's almost too strong. It looks like it protrudes too much out of his neck.
Can I say something about David Arquette?
Go
I
on.
think that he's a victim of the times. I think that his features could only play in the 90s, and that's why they did. I think that his hair doesn't look good. A lot of shit in it, but when he's got that kind of 90s thing where it looks like he took both of his hands, put them behind his head, and then went boof, and pushed forward, and then that's his hair. That played in the 90s, but you can't do that right now, so he's trying to do other shit to make up for it. And there's pictures of him with long hair, there's pictures of him with his hair slicked back, and it all looks bad. I think that he's a victim of the times.
He's got a really weird face. I don't know what it is. I feel like all his features are squished too close together.
Yeah, he looks like he was born to be poor, but he like got out of it somehow.
But he fucking rose up the ranks, man.
My last person that I wanted to for sure bring up was Cillian Murphy.
We've discussed him.
Have we?
Yeah.
He is. I am in on Cillian Murphy. I don't know if I think I might have changed my stance. I think a couple of years ago, maybe I was on the fence. I'm in on him now. He's
I think
so
that he's
weird looking
yeah.
that it's attractive.
But then
he looks like the guy who was in The Mask. You remember the villain in The Mask?
oh yeah. Fuck.
They
The
look
Mask.
very
What
similar.
was that thing that Jim Carrey says about the he has some sort of Italian food, and then what does he say about it? It's like something about a meatball.
Spicy meatball.
Chaps, do you?
Spicy meatball.
Oh, we got him to do it. Yeah. I was hoping that somehow we could get Chaps to organically say that's a spicy meatball.
Just really worked it in organically
That's a
there.
spicy meatball.
Oh.
That's so great.
Fuck. That's cool. Like you kind of have a catchphrase. I know that your actual catchphrase is actually good, but
Or actually bad.
actually, yeah. But I'm a glass half good guy. Glass half good guy. But shit, like if I saw you on the streets, I would be like, "Hey, could you say that's a spicy meatball?" And then when you said it, I would react exactly the way that I just reacted because in my truth, I just really wanted to hear that.
And I don't even know where that came from. There was just some blog that I felt like it needed to be in there that I wrote. Look up Peter Green and then the dude that you just said. Like that could be like mom and dad. Peter Green with an E on the end. That's the villain from Mask.
Peter.
It looks like that dude aged 20 years.
Oh my
I thought that you meant like
that
Peter
is
Green from
100%
Fleetwood
correct.
Mac, and I was
That could absolutely be a father and son, but that guy, Gone in 60 Seconds guy.
Yeah, and he's the one
But
that played
he
the
is
villain in
way
The Mask.
uglier.
Yeah, but it
He's
could be
uglier.
is he
related.
in Blue
for sure.
Streak?
Yeah, they could absolutely be related.
Is he also in Blue Streak? Or do I just assume? I think that there's like a very small group of like white bad guys with long faces, and I think that like that was a type for movies for a long time. Where like we need a bad guy, let's get a white guy.
You
with
have
long
to have a
face.
dude that has like a handsome structure face with like piercing ice blue eyes, like the dude in
Right, and you're like-
Gladiator, like the guy in Gladiator.
Mm.
Yeah, Peter Green looks like somebody left Cillian Murphy in the microwave for a little too long.
Yes.
He just looks like a melted version of Cillian Murphy. He also, Peter Green, looks like he would be, like if they were making a movie about the Nazis, Peter Green would be the first guy that they cast.
Oh yeah.
What do we think of Oscar Isaac?
Oscar Isaac, is he in Gone in 60 Seconds?
No, he's
no, he's the
inside Llewyn
Star
Davis.
Wars guy.
Oh yeah.
He is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He really does. He can pull off any look. Like he's got great hair, great facial hair.
Yeah, he definitely
has
falls into that
ridiculous hair.
category of could play anything.
He kills the salt and pepper look.
Hmm.
He is unbelievable.
Was he a? I could be making this up. Was he one of the people that could have possibly potentially played Freddie Mercury?
I think so. Yeah,
Ooh.
I think he was in the running.
And he would have murdered that shit. He would be a great Freddie Mercury.
Since we brought up Freddie Mercury, what do we think of Rami Malek?
Oh, is he the
He's Freddie
Mr.
Mercury.
Computer guy?
Yes.
I don't
he's a
like him.
robot.
Don't like his eyes, and I know it's because he's got a lazy eye, but I'm allowed to say I don't like his eyes.
I don't think he has a lazy eye. I think
He's got something going on.
he has like vagina eyes. He's got like the same. He's got like the
Maybe that's why I don't
Steve
like
Buscemi
him.
eyes,
Gross.
where he's got like the very pronounced
Shit under the eyes.
under eyelid.
Yeah.
It looks like he has two eyelids, one above and one below.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, again, fucking fleece that out with makeup, dude.
I don't
What's
think.
wrong
I
with
think
this
his
guy?
is so strong that you can't.
Who's your biggest riser for handsomeness in the last 5 years?
Ooh.
Oh man,
I think Idris Elba.
that's a pretty good one. I would say. I honestly would say. I think Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I think Michael
Mine's
B.
Chris
Jordan.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Ooh, Chris Pratt is too. I can't commit to Chris Pratt because you never know what you're gonna get.
Well, now you do because he's full on movie star and he's single,
Hmm.
so you know that he's going to stay in shape.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
I think
But you
I
know
think
he's
he
so
for
funny
sure-
and so handsome. And Ryan Reynolds, my God, dude. Ryan Reynolds Sex Man of the Year every year for like the next decade.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not a riser because he was
No, not a
already
riser at all.
very high up.
Got to mention him. I haven't mentioned him yet, and that's outrageous.
For me, I think Chris Pratt is a somewhat dangerous pick because I feel like he could trend downwards very soon.
But right now, where he's
he
at,
doesn't seem like he's built for. Right, I absolutely agree that he is very attractive right now, but I feel like he's not built for longevity.
that's fair. Like you know that. Remember? Did you watch The Price Is Right growing up? You know the little dude who's like the yodeler that goes into the mountains, like yodel, 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 like when they're going up and they're like gonna go up the price thing. I feel like that's Chris Pratt, and he's like 3/4 of his mountain, and he's got like probably 4 or 5 years left until he takes a tumble off the mountain.
That's a great fucking song too. I love shit. Yodeling isn't as big as it should be. That's why up on Crip Creek by the band song where they're just like, all right, now let's yodel.
I'm a big fan
For a
of
minute.
people who can whistle their asses off too. If you're a good whistler,
Ooh.
I'll listen to that.
I love when people work in whistles into songs.
Yeah,
That's a good move.
great whistle. The Stranger by Billy Joel.
Mhm.
Beginning of that, there's a very jazzy kind of smoky intro. It's first he plays it with the right hand on the piano, and then he just whistles over it. And there's like a lot of reverb, so it seems like it's like, ooh, this is a very sleazy kind of situation I'm in right now, and it's great.
Any final takes?
No, I wrote down. I mean, I guess we didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I can't stress enough how hot Jay Ellis is.
Jay Ellis is amazing. I think he might be the most attractive black man in Hollywood. It's a real murderer's row with like him, Michael B. Jordan, Idris Elba. I want to put O'Shea Jackson Jr. in there. I think that he's top 5.
You think that O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
is? I don't know, but I did say before we went into this, like I think that most of the hottest guys in Hollywood right now are black. Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali is fucking.
He is
He's like in his 40s, isn't he?
I don't know what he is, but like that guy's fucking face is
He
unbelievable.
Is unbelievable. I agree with you. I think that's a good percentage of the most attractive people in Hollywood right now are black.
Yeah.
Something about like he's not traditionally handsome, but there's just something about him that it all works. He's 43, by the way.
He just so who, let's see, do I have anything else written down? I wrote down Charlie Hunnam ?
Sons of Anarchy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's attractive for sure.
Yeah, he's fine. I think that for some reason he's always been not quite enough for me.
There's not a lot of hot blonde guys in Hollywood. Charlie Hunnam is in the elite class of blondes.
Let's see. Yeah, that's actually quite it. I really wanted to make sure that I got to thinking Shawn Mendes isn't hot, so that's funny that you'd written
I
him
think
down as
Shawn
a good one.
Mendes is he is going to be an absolute heavyweight in about 5 years.
I think that Shawn Mendes is already in the Demi Lovato class for me, where I get annoyed when people start talking about how great they are because they're good, they're fine, but like Demi Lovato is not great. Everyone, calm the fuck down with Demi Lovato.
But Shawn Mendes, I
I
think,
agree with that.
has a that Demi Lovato is a little
Demi
overrated.
Lovato, yeah, she's overrated. Yeah.
I mean, like, she has stands. She is not good enough to have the
Right, yeah,
devoted
exactly.
fan base that she has.
Yeah,
There are
like
people
She's
that
like
are
the fifth
fucking
most
crazy
possible.
about Demi
She's like the
Lovato.
fifth most followed person on Instagram.
really?
I mean,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous. So, like, if I
Yeah.
can give credit for
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
like
but we're talking
70
about
million
girls. We don't
followers
care
or
about
something.
looks there. We're just talking about fucking music.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but like, if you're talking about Instagram, you have to incorporate looks into the equation because that's what people follow people on Instagram for most of the time.
I'm going to toss out a quick girl on this podcast. Aya Cash.
Who's that?
She's in Easy and she's in You're the Worst. She's the pregnant wife during the Dave Franco episodes.
She's a redhead. I'm
And I
already in.
love her.
I love redheads.
She's terrific. But this isn't about girls.
No,
this is
definitely
about
not.
fellas as usual. Chaps, you got any left in the tank?
I mean, you gotta mention Justin Timberlake because he's still the best in the game.
Yeah, he's still but he's also getting into he's got to watch it because he's starting to get cute and
Sir,
it's too soon for him to be
Sir.
getting cute. It's too soon for him to be getting cute
No,
because then, like, when I see him and Jimmy Fallon in the same room now, I'm not differentiating the two too much now, and I think that Jimmy Fallon can get the fuck out of my life.
Jimmy Fallon is not in
not
the
in the
same
same
conversation.
But
not
I'm
even
saying,
riding
like-
the same car on the train. Like they're
Right.
different.
He's turning himself into a bit of a goofball. That's all I'm saying is just watch out,
No,
Justin.
My biggest warning for Justin Timberlake is that he is not in the spotlight enough. So I haven't seen him in a while. I'm sure he's very, very attractive, but if he is only servicing a couple times a year, there's a possibility that in a couple of years you might see him and be like, "Oh, he kind of looks old now," and you don't get the subtle transition,
The
into
graceful
older.
fall.
Yeah.
Can I tell you
Not
this
even a
about
graceful fall, but like once somebody gets older, you kind of get adjusted to their aging process. But if you don't see somebody for a while and then you see him, you're like, "Oh, that guy looks way older."
A big example for that would be, what's the dude from Michael Reisner, right? Michael Reiser? He's in Stranger Things. Like
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser.
Oh yeah.
That dude. Like I was like, that can't be Paul Reiser, man. No way. Paul Reiser was out of the spotlight for like 10 years and then he came back. Looks like shit.
I think that I always say this in sports. I say the best thing that you can do isn't to beat your opponent. It's to make them quit. And that's why Darrelle Revis was I think is the fucking best cornerback ever because he would just by fucking halftime, the other team's top receiver would just be fucking mailing it in because they're like, I'm not gonna fucking catch a pass the rest of this game anyway. And that's just such an impressive thing to do, and it helps your team so much. I think that Bruno Mars has kind of made Justin Timberlake quit. I think that Bruno Mars showed up and he was like, all right, I'm stepping on your turf, and we're going to have a bit of a showdown here. And I think that Justin Timberlake was like, I don't really need to do this anymore.
Are we talking about looks or are we talking about music?
I think that just with everything, I think that that's why Justin
I
Timberlake
think it's
maybe isn't
wrong
in the
on
spotlight.
all accounts. I think it's wrong on all accounts. I don't think he's better at music. I don't think he's better at looks.
I think that
No,
Bruno showed up with a lot of coke and was like, all right, let's party. And
I
Justin
think-
was like, I'm going to go home.
I think Bruno eclipses Justin Timberlake in terms of music at this point.
Right now, for sure.
And Bruno Mars is a very good-looking person who does not credit for being as good-looking.
He
as
looks
he
kind of
is.
like Dionne Warwick.
Who's that?
Dionne Warwick?
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Dionne Warwick, she was one of the people on That's What Friends Are For. She's on We Are the World. She's great.
Look her up. Tell me she doesn't look like Bruno Mars.
She
Oh,
dead?
yep, she does. Yeah.
Is Dionne Warwick dead? I think I may have been sad when she died.
No, she's alive. So you just made that up.
Yeah, but God, she's
Justin Timberlake, I think.
Got a beautiful
I think
voice.
you might be onto something about the music because I think he realized that he is not the heavyweight that he thought he was.
But he's like, I don't need to be anymore. And I'm like, I know that you're right in doing that, but I think that's a bullshit move, Justin.
The 2020 experiment was at least half of it was a flop.
No, I thought it was all good.
I thought the second half was disappointing, and I think that's kind of where he kind of dialed it back.
No, I mean where he dialed it back was the fucking Trolls song, but can't
Well,
stop the
was-
feeling. No one has ever fucking mailed it in anything like he did with that fucking song.
And it still was a smash hit.
It was a
which made me
smash hit.
so mad.
I remember I was like, I need anybody but Justin Timberlake
Yeah,
to like. He's set
he
a
was above
bar.
that. He was
I
above
need
that.
this to be sung by fucking.
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes. Who are the fucking assholes that Taylor brought out when we saw the 1989 tour?
God.
The fucking like
Walk the Moon.
no, like something like like Walk the Moon can do that fucking song, but that's not who did it. She brought out
They
like
had one good
BKO something like that, NKO something.
something. Whatever.
Yeah,
Not big enough to care.
Yeah, it fucking pissed me off. All right, well, this has been a smash success as usual. Chaps, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
We will continue to read your wonderful blogs and
listen to them when they're audio blogs.
Yes, and watch your audio blogs.
Need to bring back the audio blog.
When was the last time you did it?
It's probably been like a month. I just got kind of tired. Like it's a pain in the ass process because you have to do it like 6 seconds at a time. It takes forever.
Man, yeah. Well, thank you so much. You checked all the boxes for us. You had great takes. You had a really crazy one about that guy with the cheeks. Now I'm not going to be able to fucking sleep because of that fucking weirdo.
You for sure, you went there a couple times in terms of like, that was a take. You came right out of the box with Ricky Gervais. That was a strong take. And then I'm gonna be thinking about this Bravo guy for a long time.
Me too, my friend.
All right, thanks, chaps. We'll do the fucking plug. You can read them on Barstool Sports. Listen to Zero Blog 30, the Podfathers as well. Everything. Thanks, chaps.
Thanks, fellas.
Stay handsome.
It is time to name Brunch's Handsomest Man of the Year 2017.
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. There's a lot of candidates, as we've discussed on this episode. Thank you to Chaps for joining us. Before we get to the actual winner, we should get to the favorites, because there aren't necessarily nominees or anything like that, because everyone's even fucking Colin Jost is a nominee. He's not going to fucking win.
Ricky Gervais nominee.
Ricky Gervais, who knew? You know what? That was actually a good call on his part, because his laugh thing was cute. The thing that I played along with you guys just to be nice was Larry David. Larry David's fucking gross, man. Especially you said
less gross than Ricky Gervais.
You brought up his laugh as being attractive. His laugh this season for some reason, he's laughing a lot more, and he's going, that's not fucking.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Gross, disgusting. All right. Anyway, though, the favorites for Brunch's Handsomest Man of the Year 2017 are Idris Elba, Oscar Isaac, Jay Ellis, and Jeff Goldblum. Obviously.
Yes, of course.
Obviously, Jeff Goldblum guy is sneaky attractive. And the winner is Emilio. Emilio's the winner. He's such a handsome man. He's such a handsome man. Oh, what would you like to say, Emilio? Oh,
riveting stuff.
Dream come true. You want to hold the handsome man?
Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Oh, what a couple of handsome men. Just a couple of...
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, he's got a lot to say.
Oh, yeah, good up in here.
Ooh. What a good guy. Congratulations so much to you, my favorite. I love you, you handsome little guy.
You're going to be the most handsome man until you die.
That's right. That's the trick with being most handsome man. You never get less handsome because you only get more handsome. So next year you're going to win too. So an early congratulations to 2018 Handsomest Man of the Year if Trump doesn't kill us all, Emilio! Yay! Okay, that's it for Hot Guys and Weathermen 3, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to Chaps. Thanks to Pete Blackburn. Thanks to DJ Bean. Everybody involved. We'll see you next year!